the global screening of the Where We Are tour.
Make sure you have your popcorn at the ready and your phone switched to silent. We're about to watch us in HD on a very big screen, so hopefully we'll make our best.
We hope you enjoyed the Where We Are concert movie, which will be filmed in San Siro Stadium in Milan. Before we start, we're going to answer some questions for you. Hold on.
Yes, we are.
It's getting inquisitive. How's the tour been? Let's start with you, Louis. How have you enjoyed the tour so far?
I think the tour's been brilliant. Doing a stadium tour is, so hard to comprehend, and being there on stage is just the best.
It is mad how you've done so quickly. You've gone to stadiums. 3 years ago, you were doing theatres. A couple of years ago,
We did a nightclub first.
So what
We
you
started
did?
at Watford, that was the first.
Go on, tell me your first ever gig together. When was
We did
that?
in Scotland. It was at Campus. We did those couple gigs in
Campus
Scotland.
in Glasgow.
There's about 800 people in there.
Quite a lot. 800 people.
Yeah, mate. It was like for us. Obviously, we'd not done like a gig together before or anything. It was so amazing. The vibe in there was huge. There was a couple of places where we did Leeds. Remember in Leeds where all the lads was booing us.
Yeah.
But those were the days, man. Those were funny days. We had a lot of fun when we used to go touring around the clubs and stuff. And
Our first gig, all five of us, for the whole set, we just had mic stands. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We just sung on mic stands for like 6, 7 songs we did.
Yeah.
The covers we did on the X Factor, wasn't it? Yeah.
The lead show was weird because it wasn't even on a stage. It was just on there was
Podium thing,
a platform. It was like tables.
For the DJ.
I wish we had footage of it because it was so funny.
Did people start throwing stuff at us as well?
Yeah. We were all too young to be, except for you, maybe. Lou. I think you could go clubbing then, couldn't you?
We literally just got brought in, did the gig, and got taken back out.
So it was a nightclub night, and you were performing your covers.
Yeah.
We did Tiger night.
It was in like a car lot, wasn't it, in Leeds?
Yeah, Leeds.
It might have been Oceana.
Yeah, we did.
No, it wasn't Oceana.
It was
They're
Tiger.
too good Oceanas. It wasn't Oceana.
Out of interest, do you feel that you enjoyed the theatres and the arenas more than the stadiums?
There's something really nice about being able to see the whites in people's eyes, and you can literally have conversations with people across the room, and that's amazing. And then now, I think you still kind of have you can't help but have little areas of the crowd that you keep going back to. It just happens naturally. It's not. Yeah. There's little spots where you kind of will always see people and you recognise people and.
We could have happily stopped at arenas and been like, this is amazing. To play arenas and do a worldwide tour would have been absolutely incredible. Seeing some of the greats that have played stadiums. I remember when we got the sheet through at the stage, there was AC/DC stage. People like that play stadiums. So for us to be playing in stadiums, just the biggest thing in the world. It's nothing we could have properly sat down and thought, one day we might play stadiums. You know what I mean? You'd never have said that. It just happened.
We blagged it again. It's so.
Do you feel a bit like that? Like you blagged it?
You almost don't. You look at the names that have played. Some of the stadiums for Wembley, for example, and you almost don't feel like we're worthy of it. We just feel like we're just little scumbags. But actually, people like us.
The thing is with stadiums is if you're in a band or you're doing music, I don't think stadiums aren't music venues, so I don't think that's what you think about. I think if you're trying to aspire to something, you aspire to the O2 Arena and MEN or stuff like that.
Can you take it all in though? Because it's because you're stood there. I sometimes look at you, and obviously when we were filming this DVD and when we were filming this Milan show, the camera goes behind you and you see you guys on the edge of the stage and you're talking to sort of 3 tiers worth of people. It's 80,000 people you're talking to. Do you have moments where you're just I don't quite know how I got here, I guess?
It's very hard to comprehend. I think it's one of those things that is just so overwhelming. You can't really process it.
The thing for me is as well, I think, how do we know how to do this? Most people would struggle to do a best man speech at a wedding or something like that. You know what I mean? Doing a speech is a big deal, and then we're just there we've got 3 speeches in a show to make in the middle of the show to 80,000 people.
I think we're very lucky with our fans that they take the pressure off us a little bit. That they're very forgiving. If you fall over, you kind of feel like you've been there. You kind of feel like they've got you back. So you do have that kind of security while you perform.
Because I do feel speaking and singing are two completely separate things.
Why do you feel more? Tell me about you, because
because I feel like they're completely different skills. When I go out, I can sing, do whatever, not be phased by it. Walking around the stage singing. Then the minute I have to speak, my brain just kind of just fails on me and kind of just puts 100 different words in my head all at once.
Do you feel that even now?
Yeah, not all the time, but just like if you, like you were saying, like when you look around and stuff and you're trying to take it all in and you're like, so many people here, kind of just adds a bit of pressure.
Do you think it's easier for you, and all of you really, but do you think it's easier to just try and not overthink it? Is it sort of easier? Because
Absolutely.
I guess if you stop and you think, oh my goodness, 80,000 people are here and they're here for us, I guess it sort of plays with your head a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's what you find.
That's why I personally find it easier to bring the other boys in when we're talking. Like, I'll go over and talk to Niall because I'm talking to Niall then. Yeah, there is 80,000 people there, but at least I can have a conversation with Niall and, you know what I mean, it might be a little less daunting.
I just get too excited. I've kind of become the hype man, where we does all the shouting, trying to get the crowd. So I just try and like manage the crowd in a way and get them buzzing.
Do any of you get nervous before a show?
Anyone that tries to tell you that they're not nervous it's a lie, because you do get like butterflies a little bit. But I find myself more so now, the further we've got into the tour, more excited about going on stage, because I find that when you do your own show, you know what kind of crowd we're going out to. Everyone knows like the One Direction crowd is crazy and like that, so you kind of build yourself up for that instead of, what's the point of being nervous? Because as Louis said, the fans will have your back no matter what you do out there.
Some of the passion that they show is like beyond anything. I remember in Brazil we met this group of 12 people who had camped for like 59 days, not even to get tickets because they had tickets from a year before, just to get to the front and be near you. Do you compute that? Do you think about that often, or is it just, are you just very grateful for it, or do you just try? I mean, the dedication to you is amazing.
The dedication is amazing. It's just impossible to understand or comprehend, because to put you in that position yourself, you'd have to be a very arrogant person to understand it, I think, and it's just impossible. I mean, just the other day, when I was down at Doncaster Rovers, 2 people had flown from Sao Paulo to Doncaster. What a great holiday. I mean, they must have had the best time.
You've travelled all over the world now. You've seen everything. What's the most impressive place that you've seen?
Rio was amazing, because it's somewhere like you always want to go out to. Brazil and South America is amazing. We got to go and see Christ the Redeemer. We went to Peru and did Machu Picchu, which was the most insane thing I think I've ever seen. It was proper crazy, that.
Which are your places, Harry, that you sort of are most keen on that you've seen?
One of my favourite shows ever is still when we played in Verona.
Yeah, mate.
Because we played in like the old Colosseum, and I have this amazing picture of like the stadium, the arena, and then it's like full of the crowd, and then there's all like the little old ruins at the top of the Colosseum.
Yeah, and the crowd outside that as well was amazing. It was like
any places for you three that you sort of keen on?
I always really enjoy going to Australia.
I was going to say,
There's something about it. It's just people are cool down there. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. The lads can go surfing and that. You know, we play golf down there. It's great. And obviously, from the first time we ever went down to Australia, the second we set foot in the country, the fans have just been ridiculous down there.
I think if it wasn't so far away, everyone would live in Australia.
I've got
Yes,
10 minutes.
I guess it's not that far away if you live in Australia. But
if you're in Australia, you can't go.
what's the negative side of it? Because obviously we get to see, you know, they're all about to watch you on stage being brilliant and rocking out to San Siro. But there must be bits that you sort of, I guess being away from home is quite tricky.
Yeah, being away from home is a huge one. Like, obviously you miss your family and friends and stuff. But actually, I quite like being busy and being on the road now. Quite like a lot of fun. But I think that I am. I can't stop these days.
But you must feel like you're like living out of a suitcase sometimes.
I hate that more than anything.
I keep my stuff on the bus, so I never bring a rucksack.
You like staying on the bus, don't you?
I live on the bus.
yeah, I bring like a backpack.
It's
just got underwear and socks in it, and then I just get my clothes given to me.
Do you? You literally just go rucksack. So how long will you be on the road for with just that rucksack?
If it's up to like 2 weeks, I'll just bring a backpack.
Yeah, because you can also use your stage clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rob a few of them.
You can play the game.
So just how many times do you use the same underwear?
I wouldn't be comfortable.
Because you use your underwear, you socks.
I'm just like any other bloke. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm out of underwear. You know what I mean? I've worn them today. I'll wear them tomorrow if I have to. If I've done a show in I mean, it depends. It depends how.
You just forget about it.
Look, this is honesty. This is all this is.
It's honesty. It's what we're doing. We're having an open, honest conversation about your underwear.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Maybe Zane's looking out for me there. You know what I mean? I probably
You
never
have to
get
know about
married.
his underwear instead.
Probably never get married.
I have a fresh pair every day.
Yeah. Well, look at me. I'm very clean.
Yeah, 2 pairs.
Sometimes too clean.
but just pick up on that. Even if you go to hotels, you've always like living on the bus, don't you?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because everyone else would. I mean, I can't imagine. It's quite small bunks, but you just quite like hanging out there.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, me and Zane spend a lot of time on the bus, and it's just, so as cheesy as this sounds, it's almost like a little escape, that little back lounge that we sit in, because, you know, like, there's mine and Zane's security, Alberto and Preston, and Don the driver. And
You don't change no matter where it is in the world, though.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You get a different garden.
It's not like a different hotel room and like
Every day.
a lonely place,
Yeah,
which
it's the
hotel
same
room often
scenery
can
everywhere.
be. It's just an easier way for me to deal with it all.
What? Because you would get quite lonely if you were sat in a hotel room on
Oh,
your own.
definitely. I can't really do on my own time. You know, I have to
Because it can
have someone's
be,
attention. You know.
I can understand that. Because it can be quite frustrating being stuck in a hotel like that. And we've had a few times this tour where there's literally been like, I remember in Peru there was like 10,000 people. And I got up that morning and went into Louis' room and I said, right, what are we doing today? And he goes, we should go shopping or something, man. Let's see, can we get like a mall somewhere and go shopping? And then we looked out the window and the police, after we found out there was like 10,000 people on the street outside our hotel. So
The bus parks in the stadium.
So the bus parks in the stadium, and you know we always stay up late, otherwise you don't really have any time.
Yeah.
So you know we get up and take a walk inside, like we looked at the San Siro at like 3 in the morning, and it's incredible. It really is incredible to see.
You get off stage, you're just full of energy. You don't want to be sitting in a hotel room by yourself after that. Do you know what I mean? You're just
Be
doing that
drifting
amazing
around.
gig.
What does it feel like when you come off stage?
Just buzzed up, full of energy. I normally just can't go to sleep, but I just want to stay up. And just,
And do
But
you
it's quite
find like,
relaxing when you finish a show as well, though. You feel like, because you've done the show, it's like a big energy release and whatever, get it all out on stage, and you kind of relax,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
are like a relaxed awake sort of thing, I always find. And we don't really have, I don't think any of us have like a proper body clock. Like, we all go to bed at like different times and whatever else.
You need like an hour, 2 hours to kind of, even if it's not do anything, like even if it's just lying around but not sleeping. You have like a ringing in your ears for a while and stuff. And
What's all this in the middle of the show? You're the only band I've ever seen that goes for a week.
so cheeky, isn't it?
In the middle of a show, you're going for a week.
Yeah, it's always in my speech, mate. I'm left there, and I've already said all I can say, and then he goes off the stage. I'm looking round.
I think we all think the same thing, because I always think, oh, I'll just nip off for a week. I actually normally tell Liam, oh, I'm just going for a week. And then I come to the toilet and everyone's already there.
we all know the point in the show where there is a gap long enough to go to the toilet. So, like, I came out the toilet the other day and literally there was 3 lads standing outside in the queue outside
Yeah.
the toilet.
what can you do?
Well, you can go before the show.
Of course.
No, not true.
It's
Not
not
true,
that.
man. No, because you drink so much water
That's what I
during
was gonna
stage.
say, yeah,
It's
you
very
do.
dry.
I had one kidney for a long time, boy, so I'm well trained in that area.
You never had
You never had one kidney, it was a
Never had
myth.
one.
That
It
is the world.
It could have been a bit.
You were told somebody said you have one kidney.
It was confirmed that one of my kidneys was scarred, right? But then when I went to the doctors in
We told-
Harley Street when I was 18,
We were told they
somehow
never-
I'd healed it.
These kidneys just healed.
Healed.
We were told we didn't have one, it was gone.
No. I always had one, it was scarred, it just didn't work.
Okay, one out of the 5 of you that actually doesn't necessarily have 2 functioning kidneys can hold it in for a full show and you 4 can't.
Fucking hell, he's putting a gold plate on the kidney thing. His kidneys, it's
Alright, we can move on from the weird. It must be quite satisfying for you though that on this tour you're performing songs that you've actually had such a big part writing. Does that make it? I mean, let's start with you, H. Does that make it sort of, I guess, a bit more satisfying that it's actually your material that you're singing?
there's definitely like a time when you kind of, if it's a song that you've written and you hear like people singing it back, it's because there's a feeling of people singing your songs back to you, and then there's a feeling of people singing lyrics where you remember being somewhere writing them and you remember recording them and just kind of remember how it all came together, and it kind of flashes through your mind the whole process.
You can almost go through a show and almost forget stupidly. I think for me, there's been a few times where fans have held up "You Make Me Strong" and everyone's held that up. And you know, you'd just be singing the songs and going through the motions. Then it actually takes something as blatant as that to go, oh, hang on a minute, you know, that's you know, I wrote on that song, they're referencing something that I've said. And it's an amazing feeling. It's exactly what you would want as an artist. You know, it's very important for us, I think.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid and my dad had put like Snow Patrols like singing at some festival or something on, or like
What else would Jeff
Coldplay.
have?
Coldplay as
Perfect
well.
example.
So like
Jeff
when you
Laptop.
see them, you know, you see them on TV and you see everyone singing, you know, the words to Yellow back or whatever. You know, I was sat there thinking like, I wonder what that feels like. Do you know what I mean? Like to have someone singing something that you wrote back to you, and there's that many people singing it. Like, and it is like you say, you kind of forget sometimes a bit stupidly, and then you're like, oh, I wrote this song, whatever. It's buzzing.
Makes it much more satisfying, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just so much more personal. Your performance becomes so much more personal because you've had that kind of involvement with it. And yeah, I think those songs that you have written definitely are more fun to express. Yeah.
There's been so many amazing moments for you boys, from sort of moving premieres to the Olympics to all these different things. What would you say, one by one, what's been, I guess, your proudest thing that you've achieved so far? Proudest either moment or thing you've achieved? Let's start with you, Zaina.
There is a lot of different things, you know, that I would consider as being massive achievements, but I think for me personally, like I really, really enjoyed the VMAs when we did that. Just thought it was like,
Because you've done 2 VMAs, haven't you?
we won 3, didn't we? That,
Yeah, but we've
that
been
year, yeah, we've
twice,
been
yeah.
twice. Yeah, the first time we went when we won 3, that
Yeah.
it was
It
amazing.
was the first proper award show I think
Yeah.
we've
It
been
just
to.
felt crazy, the whole experience of just being there, like you've seen it on TV, you know, all the stars that were sat right next to us had been on, you know, been in the industry for so many more years than us, and we, like Louis said, just felt like new kids, just sat there like...
Rihanna was sat in front of us.
Yeah, like we had no friends,
Crazy.
like it was
Didn't
really
know
weird,
anybody.
like,
You, you wanted just basically to get your autograph book out, but actually you're winning 3
Exactly, yeah.
movement.
It's really funny then, the year after we went, remember that one in Brooklyn? Where we were literally sitting around, and
We were with the hip-hop crowd.
everyone was around us, from Lil Wayne to,
Yeah.
you know, Rihanna was sitting in the seat
Big
in front
Wayne.
of us.
Big
Everyone,
Wayne,
Lil Wayne, Big Wayne, No
Wayne's
Size
World.
Wayne,
Justin
met loads of
Timberlake,
Medium Wayne.
Justin Timberlake, all of those guys were all there sitting beside us, and we are literally sitting there with like soft drinks and a foot-long hot dogs each. And Louis turned to me during Justin Timberlake's performance. I'm sitting there with a hot dog in my mouth. He goes, "We are literally the worst celebrities that I've ever walked past." Everyone's sitting around there like with their sunglasses on, all looking all
Everyone
shady.
takes it
And
very
that.
seriously,
Yeah.
don't they? Everyone likes to, you know, sip champagne and look very, very nice and beautiful.
you
And
and
we're
your
just
hot dog.
scoffing hot dogs. And
I think the Brits are always great. The Brits are amazing. In my house, I've got all the awards that we've won on each side of my TV, and you just look at them sometimes, and you just see you know the ones that we've won. And the Brits it's just an amazing night every time we go, and we always have a good time. We feel more comfortable there as well, don't we? Because you know more people when you go to them. And yeah, the Brits are. It's always been great, because that was actually the first award we won.
very
A
true.
Brit Award. It was the first award that we won, and having gone back there the last couple of years, it's been amazing. So I'd say the Brits are the biggest thing that we did.
Harry?
I always find stuff that that like my parents like freak out about, like makes me feel the most proud.
But when they get what do you mean by
Yeah.
that?
So like for example, like when we met the Queen, like there's loads of stuff like VMAs and stuff that like my grandma doesn't like understand at all. But like meeting the Queen, she like freaked out about it.
Our families always seem to turn up, because like they don't go to the same thing all together all the time. So when they turn up in numbers at a certain thing, you know it's big.
They turn up.
So like the first time since the X Factor, the first time you could tell something big was happening when they all arrived up was Madison Square Garden, and you know it's the most famous venue in the world. And then like, for instance, like when our families like come to Dublin, for instance, like
They love Dublin.
Everyone likes going to the Dublin shows for some reason, or like the other night, some of our parents are in Milan. So you know all these like big moments when the family turn up, you know it's going to be a big night. And I think that goes back to what Harry's saying, like the best things that you do are the ones that your family, you know, want to get to and are proud of.
Listen, I'm going to finish on 4 questions from some of the fans that they've sent into you. We want some quick one-word answers. So, Kizzy Wiz says, what's the one thing you must have with you on tour? Liam, one thing.
Phone.
Harry?
Wi-Fi.
Phone.
Phone, it's boring that, isn't it? Phone.
Yeah, fine.
Boring.
Fine, 4 phones and Wi-Fi. OKS Kano says, what surprises you most during concerts? I guess that means what of the surprises that they've done has been the most spectacular?
I think the one that they did the other day in the show in
San Siro.
San Siro.
That's it, which is what we're about to
They
see.
managed to say I Love One Direction in it as well. There was a few other things going on.
Amber Coffee, A-M-B-R-E Coffee, says, what do you like to do before a concert? One thing that you have to do before a concert.
For some reason, I always brush my teeth before a show. I don't know why.
Very great. Very
I
happy.
put on aftershave, even though no one can smell it. But
Great snap. Zaina, Sylvia 1D wants to say, what's your favourite song to perform of all the things on the tour?
Alive, I'd say.
Alive. I love Alive. It's the best song on this tour. I just think it's brilliant. Last one, Dyer MXNZ Zane. What's the most embarrassing that's ever happened to you on stage?
I fell over in Ireland on our first show on the Europe tour. Not a good look to start, mate, but
Decent fall.
I was debating. I've knocked myself out. It's cool. If you've knocked yourself out falling over, it's a bit cool because it hurt you. Whereas I had to get up and carry on, mate. I was
about
annoyed.
3 seconds away from catching you, but it was too late.
So angry.
You could have saved the day, but what you're saying, Zayn, is you just didn't.
Boys, I've very much enjoyed listening to your thoughts. Thanks very much. Everyone's now about to watch the gig that you did at San Siro.
And it's been great. This has been.
I think you've got a long career in this.
My debut.
My
He's going to be. Watch this space.
Thanks. But we're about to see now the San Siro show, which was probably one of your best shows on the tour. Right? You loved doing it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The whole scale of it being one of the homes of football as football fans is quite a big deal, and to be even in the place be even in the building was just ridiculous. So you're in for a treat.
Enjoy.
Enjoy it.